Welcome to Cars Yeah, show number 136.
This is Cars Yeah, where you'll enjoy interviews with inspiring automotive enthusiasts. Mark Green is here to provide you with a fuel injection of automotive inspiration. So get in, sit down, buckle up, and get ready for a wild ride here on Cars Yeah.
Have you turned your key and heard that dreaded tick, 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 tick because of a dead battery? No worries. I've got the Naoko Genius Boost Jump Starter. This compact tool fits in your glove box and features rechargeable lithium battery technology that will start a dead battery in your car, boat, truck, or RV. It packs a whopping 12-volt, 400 amp starting power and can start up to 20 dead batteries on a single charge. Plus, it has built-in spark-proof technology with reverse polarity protection to safely jumpstart your vehicle. The compact, ergonomically designed clamps are solid copper for maximum conductivity, and there's a built-in ultra-bright dual LED flashlight with 7 modes, including an SOS emergency strobe. It's easily rechargeable with a USB outlet, and you can charge your smartphone or tablet while you're on the road. Works on any 12-volt lead-acid battery. The Genius Boost from Naoko is the ultimate emergency tool that's safe and easy to use. Quality design, state-of-the-art technology from Naoko, your battery care source since 1914. Get yours at geniuschargers.com. Hello, automotive enthusiasts. Today I'm really excited to introduce a very special guest, Gunther Raupp. Gunther, are you buckled up and ready for a fun ride?
Yes.
All right. Well, I'm very excited to have you here. Thank you for calling in all the way from Germany. It's wonderful to talk with you. Gunther has been a professional photographer for over 30 years. He shoots campaigns for almost every automotive marque, including Audi, Buick, Fiat, Ford, and Jaguar, Lancia, Maserati, Opel, Porsche, Toyota, Volkswagen, Volvo, and others. His work has been displayed in museums around the world and hangs in private collections as well. And back in 1984, he fulfilled his dream of owning a Ferrari, and he photographed his Dino 246 Spider and created his own Ferrari Calendar. He sent one to Enzo Ferrari, and that began an unparalleled history of photographing Ferrari calendars. And today, he's the only photographer to be sanctioned by Ferrari to shoot their annual calendar. It's produced in a limited number and has become a sought-after prize by automotive enthusiasts around the world. So, Gunther, I've told our listeners just a little bit about you. Would you take a moment and share some more about your history, your career, your interests, and, of course, your passion for automobiles?
Well, Mark, first is a big surprise. After your introduction, I am not a photographer.
Oh, okay.
The reality is that I studied fine art painting at the State Academy in Stuttgart. And in the mid of my studies, I have bought a camera. And then I have paid all my money I had for the camera, and I only could afford for a black and white film. And when I saw the results, the images were so great that I decided to buy a slide projector. Mm-hmm. And I've put the black and white negatives into the slide projector. And for me, these projections were absolutely abstract images. So I was so passionate that I then invested in a color slide film, mm-hmm. and I more and more began to photograph. So at the end of my studies of fine art, I was truly a photographer. But I came from the position of an artist. This is a difference to most of the other colleagues in the business today. And in the first years, I produced multimedia, audiovisual media, film, and video, and then it came back to photography again. For me, as a car nut, it was a dream when the first car clients came. My first car client in Germany here was Fiat, and then the second, it was what else? Porsche.
Porsche.
Porsche. So I came from the position as an artist to the business making photographs.
Wow. Well, it's a wonderful transition, and I've always believed that many photographers are really, truly artists at heart, because artists are able to see things in a special way, whether you're holding a paintbrush or looking through a lens. So it explains a lot to me, the look and feel of your photography from where you came. So what a wonderful transition. And you said that you've always been a car nut. That's a very classic American term, although it may be universal for us automotive enthusiasts. But we'll get into your automotive journey and find out more about how that started. But I always like to start our talks with an inspirational quote. And it's a way to learn more about you and listen to that quote that you want to share with us and how it has formed your life and how it has formed your success. It's a great way to get the inspirational tires turning here on Cars Yeah. So Gunther, take the wheel.
Well, I think that wherever, in every business or in every art you are doing, you have to follow your passion and you have to say yes and not perhaps. When I grew up as a boy and I've seen the first concept cars from Pininfarina for Ferrari, I felt in love for this stylings. So when I was later a professional photographer, I drove around a corner here in Stuttgart and I have seen for a moment a sign of Ferrari. So it was the question to break in this second, go into the shop and say what you want. and I indeed stepped in and asked the guy, I'm looking for a Dino Spider or a Ferrari 230 GTS.
Mm-hmm.
He said, what a question. We have both here. So when I've seen my Dino the first time, 14 days I could not sleep, I could not eat. My wife said, no recommendation from me. Do what you want, so live or die with that decision. When the weekend came and I opened the eyes on a Saturday morning, I saw through the open window blue sky without any clouds. And in that second, I said, yes, I take it. I went to Stuttgart, I went to the Ferrari shop, and I've seen the car, and I said to the guy, it's done, I take it. This, if you do this emotional and passionate decisions in your life, the result comes back. It always brings you in a situation to think independent, to follow your passion.
Yes, wonderful.
It is a great, I say, it's not a medicine, it's a tremendous bullet which fires me so many times, and don't forget, I now have the car 34 years.
And I assume that passion for that Dino is still there.
Yes, of course. It's part of the family.
Wonderful. One of the first Ferraris I ever drove was a Dino. And I always will remember that because I was only 16 years old and I had a car detailing business, and a customer of mine had one, and he let me drive it from his house back to my house. And oh, what a dream. It was so much fun. So I understand your passion. You're very fortunate. Would you share with me a story that instigated your passion for cars? That pivotal moment, if you can remember that pivotal moment in your life when you really knew you were a car guy or a car nut?
Yes, I told you when I was 14, I've seen the Pininfarina concept cars, these Dino, the first 206 SP, which is now, I think, in the hands of a collector in New York. And this was the proposal for Ferrari to start with mid-engined cars. And when I produced the official Ferrari calendar, I had the idea to contact Pininfarina and say, hey, I want to have this car for the Ferrari calendar. And Pininfarina said, yes, okay, why not? But we bring it here to Cambiano, to the design center, and around the design center, do what you want, take your photographs. I thought I'm in the heaven. And then I worked with a car one day, and at the end of the shooting, it was the absolute dream. And then at the end of the shooting, we have packed everything of the equipment to the car, and the guy from Pininfarina said, oh, you want to drive with me back?
Oh, wow.
So I was the first time sitting in that dream car I saw in the age of 14.
Oh.
And then he turned the key, and in the back it is a Dino race engine.
Mm-hmm.
So he turned the key, the battery fired the engine, and it was running. Close the door. It is like you have a dream, and the dream comes from heaven to earth.
Yes.
And it's reality.
Oh, what a spectacular day that must have been. Oh, my goodness. I can still hear the passion in your voice. It is as clear as it happened yesterday, I'm sure. That's wonderful. So, Gunther, what I want to do now is take a look at some of the roads that you've driven down and really crawl under the hood. I would like for you to share a story with our listeners that was a huge challenge or even a great failure that you faced in your career, but more importantly, share with us how you overcame that situation and what you learned from it.
Think independent, open your mouth, do what you want. I had a meeting years ago with the managing director of Ferrari Germany here, and I felt he was unhappy more and more, and I felt he has a question to me. And then he took me down to another office, and he showed me the proposals an advertising agency has made to him for a Ferrari magazine. And he was not very lucky with his design and the proposals, and so he put the question to me, what do you think about these designs and the concept of a magazine? And in this moment, it was to me the question either to be polite and to keep a friend or be open, frankly speaking, and losing a friend.
Yes.
So I decided the second choice. I really told him what I'm thinking about this bad concept, and he was more and more opening the eyes. And he said, do you like to make our magazine?
Oh.
Wow. This was the moment when I got the magazine. I could, as a photographer, I could develop from an empty piece of paper, from nothing, from zero. I could develop a magazine concept, and it was approved. And they said, okay, now you do for the next years the magazine. Mm-hmm. So as a photographer, I had a complete magazine in my hands, and that for Ferrari. And I was the contracted publisher for Ferrari to produce over, I think, 15 years, the official Ferrari magazine. For me, it was tremendous to have. On the one hand, I did advertising photography. On the other hand, I was editor-in-chief of the Ferrari magazine.
Yes, wonderful. Well, let's shift gears here and go to the other end of the spectrum. Would you share a story with me that was a real aha moment in your career? a time when you realized that an idea or a concept that you had was really going to be successful, and tell us the steps you took to turn that aha moment into your success.
Well, the really big bang was the idea to produce the Ferrari Calendar.
Mm.
And in the year 84, with my team, I decided to produce the first calendar on our own. And then I have printed it. I made the graphic design. I've printed it and done everything in the production. And then I've sent the first calendar to Enzo Ferrari.
Wow.
And immediately he has sent a letter back to me with congratulations and said, "Oh, many thanks for the nice gift. All the best for the family," something like that. Mm-hmm. And this was 31 years ago. Mm. So this limited edition calendar, as you told to our listeners, this limited edition calendar now is around the world, the calendar.
Yes.
And it's indeed interesting that only the Pirelli calendar and the Ferrari calendar really have found their target groups around the world. Many companies and many people try to do such things as well, but it's only an attempt and not a real success. So this success I had as a young man came alongside with my other career as advertising photographer, and we have put this Ferrari calendar on Facebook as well. Mm-hmm. And if you are familiar with likes from some creative companies, you know what it is here. We have actually more than 152,000 likes.
Wow. Wow.
and this more than 150,000 likes, it's for one guy, two hands, one head, one camera.
Well, that's fabulous. It was brilliant of you to send Enzo Ferrari your work and cross your fingers, I suppose, that he would like it. And of course he did. And a legend was born. That's really fantastic. And maybe that is the answer to this next question I have for you, but maybe not. What was your proudest moment in your career?
Walking on the Fifth Avenue with the experience having found 10 minutes ago my representative in the United States as a photographer.
Oh, wow.
I was visiting New York with the idea to find for me as a photographer a representative in the U.S. market. Mm-hmm. And on the third day I was in New York, I met the agency who had in those days more than 200 creative talents to represent in the States, and I was the only car photographer.
Oh, wow.
And at the end of the meeting, when I showed them my images, they had the question, so with which representative do you cooperate in the United States? And I said, with none. They simply replied, now you have one.
Now you have one. Fantastic. Wow.
And when you are in New York, when you are in Big Apple,
yes,
and the address in those days of Bernstein and Riuli, mm-hmm. The address was 60 East 42nd Street, and until today I know this street address as my pin needle in New York.
In New York.
So the only reply was, you have one now. And then I went down and I went to the to the Fifth Avenue, you feel the ground better after.
Yes. Oh, what a wonderful story. I have goosebumps listening to that. Wonderful. Let's have a little fun here. What was your first really special car?
Well, actually, you won't believe it, but today I have a very special car for everyday use. Mm-hmm. It is. It also begins with an F, but ends on a D. You won't believe it. It's a Ford.
A Ford. I was going to say, wait a minute. That spells Ford.
It's a Ford Focus.
Oh, wow.
It's an RS.
Yes. Okay.
It's terribly metallic green. It is a pain for the eyes, this color, but it looks great in the sun.
Yes.
And this car has more than 300 horsepower and tremendous torque. Mm-hmm. So a huge spoiler. It's totally crazy that a guy in my age is driving such a car. And when I meet other people in my age, they always say, "Hey, you are crazy. It's absolutely impossible." And with such a car, you either have friends or enemies, but nothing anymore in between.
I love it.
And when you have such a car every day around you, it's more than it's really more than crazy and more exotic because you use it.
Yep. I had a guest on once who said he was so excited about his car. He said, it makes every Monday a Friday when I drive it.
Yes.
I think the same thing, the excitement of driving that vehicle. Well, that was a very unique answer. You really tricked me with that one. How about seller's remorse? Is there a car that you've owned in your life that you sold that you really wish you could have back?
Never really, because I'll tell you, perhaps my first car I owned as a boy, mm-hmm. You don't know them in the U.S., it was a DKW.
Oh,
Two-stroke car, very nice looking. And when I switched from the high school to the academy, I sold it. So perhaps I have again such a car. But the Dino is the real car. And what I want to tell you is I'm a guy for essential decisions. I have a lot of friends who buy always a new car, a new watch, a new house. They are always on the move. But I'm following essential decisions. I need perhaps a little bit more time to decide, but then it's a real satisfaction to have found the real one and to make the real decision.
I like that. Wonderful. Is there a project that you're working on right now that really has you excited?
Yes, of course, the latest edition of the 2015 Ferrari Calendar, which is now in the States as well.
Yes.
This is my latest greater creative work, but actually I'm doing the ultimate book on Pininfarina.
Ooh, wow.
Imagine how circles in this head are closing. As a young boy, you see the concept cars from Pininfarina, and I was very passionate also as a boy to design cars. Mm-hmm. And now Pininfarina invited me to do not another book more on Pininfarina. Paolo Pininfarina looked to my eyes and he said, do the ultimate book on our history and our cars.
Oh, wow.
So this is indeed a big dream, and so I'm doing a book about the heaven on earth.
Yes. Now, do you have a publishing date when that book will be available?
Well, the first date is the deadline when I have to deliver the artwork, and it's in mid of January, so it's a little bit.
It's coming up here.
It's a little bit hot in the winter here.
Yes.
And the book will be printed in, I think, February, and Pininfarina will take the Pininfarina book as the launch at the Auto Salon at Geneva. So it will be available for the readers in March, April, and on.
Oh, fantastic. Well, cannot wait to get my hands on a copy. Sounds great. Now, Gunther, here's a very interesting question. If you were a car, what type of car would you be and why?
I would be a LaFerrari.
Ah, okay. And why did you choose that car? That is a very exotic car.
I had it sometimes for a shooting, and my latest shooting of the LaFerrari, I had a date at 5:30 at the Ferrari test track, and the organization has foreseen that I get the key to the LaFerrari at 5 o'clock in the morning, and I can drive this baby to the racetrack and make the set of it.
Oh, wow.
You will see this result at next year's February page of the official Ferrari calendar. So it is a huge sculpture. It is a tremendous sculpture. Not everybody likes it, but this makes it also interesting.
Yes.
It has character, and it is not such a chewing gum design as other supercars.
Yes. Well, wonderful choice. I was very fortunate this past summer. I was in Monterey, Carmel by the Sea, for the Pebble Beach Concours weekend and the Laguna Seca races, and I followed a LaFerrari up over Laurel's Canyon Drive, which is a very wonderful drive up over the mountain and back down.
I know the road.
Okay, and I opened my windows and I just got to listen to that car. It was very hard to keep up with it. Luckily, there was a car in front of him, so he had to slow down. Otherwise, he would have lost me. But they are quite spectacular, so very, very fun choice. Okay, Gunther, we're entering what I call the last lap. And this is where I'm going to fire off a series of questions, and you give our listeners some very quick blips of the throttle answers. So are you ready?
Yes.
All right. What is the best automotive advice you've ever received?
Brake late and hard.
I love it. I love it. Can you share one of your personal habits that you believe has contributed to your successes?
Never be employed.
I like that one too. Do you have a resource that you would share with our listeners that you're really fond of? Perhaps it's a website that you really enjoy?
Yes, the real partner I can recommend to the listeners, mainly in the States, is David Bull Publishing.
Ah, yes, and David has been a guest here on Cars. Yeah, wonderful gentleman, yes.
Because David is the address in the U.S. where you can buy our official Ferrari calendars.
Yes.
He is the exclusive distributor in the States, and he is also the distributor in the U.S. for my 2 Ferrari books.
Ah, yes. Yes, wonderful. Well, that's spectacular. I love David. He's a great guy. My calendar is on the way right now. I cannot wait to get it. So very exciting. Could you share with our listeners just one book that you're really fond of that you think they should get their hands on?
It is my book on my work with Ferrari about the late 31 years. It's the title is The Ferrari Book.
Ah, yes.
It is 29 by 37 centimeters, 300 pages. It is an official Ferrari book with a preface by Piero Ferrari, and it weighs 3.6 kilos.
Oh my gosh.
It is the Bible on Ferrari, and somebody has written about this book, and he says, if you only could have one Ferrari book in your house, this would be the first and the only choice. This makes me proud.
Yes, it should. And I just put a picture of that book up on the Cars Yeah Facebook page this morning, letting my followers know that we were talking today. And I'll make sure that we put up on your show notes page at carsyeah.com resources and links to everything that Gunther has shared with us today. So just go to carsyeah.com/Gunther Raupp. Gunther, I'm up to the checkered flag here, and this last question can be a real doozy for some people. If you could only have one collector car in your garage, what would that be and why?
Easy answer, Ferrari P4.
Oh, gosh. Yes. What is it about that car that you love so much?
I think it is the most spectacular design of a race car. It is tremendous rounds, and also in this case a Ferrari P4 Spider. I had it sometimes from the collection Pierre Dino to shoot, and this is a real sculpture.
Yes.
Also, it went down in the Lemma in '66. The Fords have made them flat, but it's the ultimate race car, I think.
It is so beautiful. Oh, it is such a beautiful car. Great choice, my friend. Great choice. Well, Gunther, you've taken us on a wonderful ride today, and I've so enjoyed your stories, and I want to thank you for sharing your journey with me and the Cars Yeah listeners. Could you offer one parting piece of guidance before you drive off in the sunset in that Ferrari?
Yes, it is not only the question with which car you drive, it is the question with whom you drive in this car.
Ah, yes.
If your listeners want to see more of my work, visit raupp.com, RAUPP.com. They will find much more of my work.
Well, listeners, again, you can learn more about Gunther and everything he shared today at carsyeah.com/Gunther Raupp. Thank you, Gunther, for being so generous with your time and your expertise today. I've really enjoyed talking with you and learning more about your life. Until we talk again, I'll see you down the road.
Thank you, Mark.
Auf Wiedersehen.
Ciao.
Thank you so much for joining us on today's ride here at Cars Yeah. Drive on over to carsyeah.com to find show notes and inspiring automotive fun. Download your free copy of Filler Up, a fun book filled with gorgeous photographs of fuel filler fun, including quotes from more inspiring automotive enthusiasts. Download your copy today, and we'll see you next time on Cars Yeah.